Everything's built on relationships. First, be real. Here's what the idea is. Be yourself, but be your best self. We hate inauthentic people. You know what I think you should ask every guest that leaves? I haven't cleared this with corporates, so you may need to do that. But here's what I think you should ask every guest that leaves. Corporates having a minor coronary right now. They're having a stroke at the front table. But no, you'll like this, trust me. Because, see, I don't get to ask it. But I'm in this business, and I think it should be asked. Here's the question. Will we see you again soon? And wait for an answer. Because there's only one of three answers. What's the first answer? You bet. We'll be back. Muy bien. What's the second answer? Maybe. I mean, this is the person that's kind of hedging it. And you say, whoa, maybe. What would it take to get you to come back? And the third question is, And if they say, you got to troubleshoot it, don't you? You got to say, why is that? I don't want to pry, but man, we really pride ourselves on the experience we create. Why wouldn't you come back? Can you see how a simple question might create connection? That's real. Instead of this happy talk, thank you for dining with us. I had a friend complained once. And this woman says at the front counter, was your meal, how'd you enjoy your meal? And my friend said, it sucked. Food was bad, service was slow. And the young woman looked back at her and said, I am so sorry, but they didn't teach me what to say next. Yeah, that's inauthentic. Going through the motions. Was your meal fine? No. Here's the second thing. Be interested. Make it about them, not about you. Be the least interesting person in your restaurant. Make it about getting the name of the kids or finding out how long they've been playing buzz time or why they like particular sauce. But be interested. Number 3 is be knowledgeable. Know everything about it. I'm a beer guy. I love beer. I mean, I love beer. I digress. But my wife is suspicious. So when I say, hey, honey, let's go so-and-so for dinner or lunch, she will say, you just want to go for the beer. And she's usually right. But the point is, she's on to me. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings in Highlands Ranch. Did not meet the GM. But I had a young guy that was our wait person, team member there. And I know a lot about beer. I mean, I really do. And I was asking him about the beer. See, that's my test. Somebody doesn't know the difference between an amber ale and an IPA or a pale ale or a Pilsner or a Hefeweizen. I know they're just going through the motions. Well, this guy knew his stuff. And I'm jumping ahead, but I'm just so afraid I'm going to forget to say this. And my wife says to me, now you got 25 taps, 25 to 30 taps. That to me, that's nirvana, right? And my wife says to me before we leave, we got to come back. Now I want you to ask yourself this question. Why does she want to come back? She said, this was so much fun to bring the boys. Do you know how rare it is to create community in our culture? Do you know how many parents would love to take their kids someplace where the food was family friendly and there was a game that engaged them and you could sit around the table and enjoy not just a meal but some real fellowship? And that astounded me. That is the highest compliment I can give you at Buffalo Wild Wings. My wife, knowing there's 25 taps, still wants to come back because it's a great place to spend time with a family. Be empathic. Empathy doesn't mean you feel the same way as the guest. It means you understand how the guest feels. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy means you feel the same way. Empathy is the ability to understand. If a guest is unhappy, you don't have to be unhappy, but you got to understand why they're unhappy. You don't even have to agree with why they're unhappy. You just got to be able to understand it, because if you resist emotion, the emotion intensifies.